Hey, what's up you guys? I'm Sara Lubratt. I have been writing since I was 6 years old. I've been posting about my writing journey for 8 or 9 years now, and I'm finally publishing something early 2026. And today I'm going to be telling you guys the title and showing off a couple of the potential cover options for my debut fantasy novella. Thank you for clicking on this video. Thanks to Fiverr for sponsoring this video, and without further ado, let's get into it. I started working on this fantasy novella fall 2024 as a palette cleanser after I finished draft 7 of Project DE, which was book 1 in a fantasy trilogy, and that project took me about 9 years to finish, and so I just needed to write and finish something quickly, and this quick read fantasy novella was exactly that. I think I wrote it in 3 or 4 months, and I have been working on editing it since then. It is now also going to be the first thing that I publish, which is really freaking exciting. Like I said, looking at early 2026, you guys will get dates and more announcements as we draw closer to that point in time. A link for my newsletter will also be in the description box below. But as part of the brainstorming process in working towards indie publishing this project, I was struggling a little bit with what I wanted the cover to look like. So I worked with 3 cover designers on Fiverr to help come up with some ideas of what the cover could possibly look like. My working title for this project has been Project Veil. I live in Salt Lake City, Utah, and 3 years ago I was driving during a snowstorm, and the way the clouds covered the mountains gave me this story spark. And it took me a while to come around to this project and actually get started on it, but as soon as I started writing it, it was a very quick process and it felt good to finish something quickly. So the working title has been Project Veil, and I'm going to tell you guys a little bit about the premise before I tell you what the title is actually going to be, which is a crazy statement for me to say out loud. When I started writing this story, I wanted something that was going to be easy to write, really quick to finish. So I had the idea that the story should only span a couple of days. But Project Veil is currently sitting at about 22,000 words, so roughly 75 printed pages. It would take someone like 2 to 3 hours to finish reading it, and it is a young adult fantasy, and the main character, like every person that lives in her village, is given one opportunity during her 18th year to enter into the veil of clouds that hides the mountains, for the opportunity to leave her old life behind and join the society of dragon riders that live in the mountains. This society of dragon riders are called the Ironborn, and therefore the title of this novella officially is Ascent of the Ironborn. And that feels crazy to say out loud. I cannot believe that it actually has a title and that I'm actually getting to share that with you guys. That at least gives you a little bit of context as we move into looking at the covers that I worked with Fiverr on. None of these are the official cover yet. This was part of a brainstorming process of figuring out what I wanted the cover to look like. I definitely have my favorite of the bunch, and I'm curious to hear what you guys have to think, so make sure you leave your comments down below and let me know what you like about which one's best. I also asked for all 3 of these cover designers to not use AI because it's very important to me that I'm supporting actual artists and not AI. And the first cover I'm going to share with you guys today is this one. I liked this cover designer's conceptual covers, and so I asked for something similar to that, but I asked for it to be cold and alluring. And I said the synopsis will give more information, but some of the elements that might work well would be clouds, mountains, snow-covered pine trees, maybe a pair of dragon eyes or a subtle white dragon. And kind of the summary that I gave this cover designer was, this is for a YA fantasy novel about a girl that is leaving her old life in her village behind her and entering the Veil, aka the cloud cover that lifts from the mountains one day a year, in an attempt to join the Ironborn, which are dragon riders of white dragons at the top of the mountain. Inside the Veil is a lot of snow and pine trees, and the temperature drops fast as characters ascend. I'm hoping for a cover that translates the cold but alluring appeal of entering the Veil. For the second and third cover designers, I sent them pretty similar descriptions of what I wanted for the covers because their design style was completely different than the first one, but sort of similar to each other, so I kind of wanted to see what they would do with the same description. And the information that I provided for these 2 cover designers were the title, Ascent of the Ironborn, the author's name, Sara Lubratt. I let them know that I didn't have a tagline or any accolades, and then I put yet LOL in parentheses, and then I gave a similar summary to the first one, but I told this cover designer that I loved how their covers had a central focal point. And I said that I might want it to be footprints or the main character, which is a female with brown hair, wearing white fur, disappearing into the trees or the cloud layer. And then I went ahead and attached a couple of covers with aspects I liked to help show off what I was possibly looking for. And this is the cover we ended up with. I have a weird thing with faces on covers, so I really appreciated that the character was turned and walking away from the reader. I love how the mountain in front of her appears really daunting and like a little bit intimidating, and I had to look at this like 2 or 3 times before I saw the dragons hidden in the mist, which I thought was a really wonderful addition. This artist also sent over an ebook mock-up, which I thought was really freaking cool. Made it start to feel a little bit more real that this is coming coming to fruition. And for the third cover, this one is personally my favorite, but I would love to hear what you guys think down in the comments below. I sent this cover designer the same description that I sent to the second one. This was the outcome. This one gave me chills when I first saw it and helped me actually start to realize that my name is going to be on the cover of a book here in like 6 months. This font I really love. It was the most similar to an example that I had sent to the cover designers. I like how it's a little bit translucent. I think this cover feels really icy and very cold. I think the main character coming towards the reader, it feels really epic. It might be slightly too epic for this story, but I love the gist. I think what she's wearing looks incredible. I love the snowy trees in the valley behind her with some mountains in the background. I think it looks frigid and like really not super welcoming, and it looks like the main character is striding confidently into that. I did end up going through one round of revisions with this artist to change the color of the font for my name and to add the dragon into the background because I liked it so much in the second one, and it felt so freaking cool to like start to feel like my name is actually going to be on a book cover after writing literally since I was 6 years old. I think the third one is my favorite, and I want to hear from you guys down in the comments below which one you guys liked best. All of the artists that I worked with in this video will be linked down in the description box below, and you can use the code SARAL10 for 10% off your first order on Fiverr. Whether you're getting cover art or character art or editing services, thank you so much to Fiverr for sponsoring this video. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I cannot believe that I am finally allowed to share an actual title instead of one of my placeholder titles for one of my projects. So Project Veil, my fantasy novella, is officially named Ascent of the Ironborn, and I'm so freaking excited for you guys to get to read it early 2026. Please like this video if you have not already, subscribe if somehow this is the first time you're finding me, and if you made it to the end of the video, leave the little dragon emoji down in the comments below. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Sara Lubratt, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye!